Ugh. Borderlands. I think we all know where I'm going with this. So is Paul. I don't. All right, I'm gonna put this out there. I've never played the games, other than having seen commercials and some pictures and stuff like that. I don't know the name of any characters. I don't know what it's about. I'm not besmirching the games in any way, shape, or form. I do realize that video games have a wonderful, rich backstory history and is really taken care of, and people love it. I got nothing to say about the video games. Saying that off the bat. If you love it, good on you. Maybe I'll try it one day, but this movie didn't help me want to. Do you play the game?
I have, yeah.
This was Eli Roth proving yet again that he's not great with IPs outside of Dawn of the Dead, other people's IPs. Even his movies are a little bonkers. I don't mind them though.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of Dawn of the Dead, which I still think has problems compared to the original, but I respect it, and I think it's a well done movie. And as much as Eli Roth has gone on in his career, it's becoming more of a character of itself. And honestly, it feels like a lot of these directors that have been known for a long time are chasing franchises in some way. Man, this is not the way to do it, dude. He watched Guardians of the Galaxy 1 about 45 minutes of the way through and was like, I got this. I know what I'm going to do. Like, that's how I felt this movie came about. It was boring. I didn't care about any of the characters because they didn't let me care about any of the characters. See, that wonderful, beautiful thing they did in Guardians of the Galaxy that James Gunn did when he took time to articulate and write it, not just throw a bunch of characters together. And you literally, in all of these characters, have exactly Kate Blanchett is Star-Lord. The dude in the mask is Groot. She's wearing bunny ears. They called Rocket Rabbit. Do you not see Drax up there with the big old gun? Huh? Do you not see the quirky scientist lady or like the psychic like chick? Come on. It's Guardians of the Galaxy Eli Roth version. And here's the thing, like I like Eli Roth. I want to talk to him. There are directors like he knows so much about movies. I would love to just have a conversation with him. This is at least better and more entertaining than Rebel Moon, which was just abysmal. But not by much. This is not the worst movie of the year, in my opinion. That will always remain the Atlas. That is the first and only, well, that's the first of, I hope, only a 0-star review. Atlas got 0 stars for me. This did not get 0 stars. Didn't deserve 0 stars. There are still some things about it that made me chuckle, but man, did they not do this justice. And I don't even know anything goddamn about it. So I am going to shut up now. Paul, what did you think about it?
So I did go in there with kind of higher expectations because I've been listening to a podcast called Bad Friends with Bobby Lee, being one of the characters. And he was talking about how he's doing some of the voices in the movie. So how he made it sound, I was like, oh, this is going to be great. Like it looked like a ripoff of Guardians of the Galaxy in the trailer, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the jokes will hit. It'll be a good movie. And from just a technical standpoint, and I'm not sitting here saying I know everything, the editing was ridiculous. It didn't seem like anything really went together. Like it was just choppy. I was like, what is it? This almost looks like a fan-made movie of Guardians of the Galaxy, but they couldn't use those names, so they just made their own. The jokes, because I was in a theater with a decent crowd, like even the kids aren't laughing because these jokes are so juvenile and not even like funny. Like maybe something a 4-year-old might joke about saying the word pee or something. Anyway, this movie was bad. I would say watch at your own risk at home, but I would not spend a penny on it. I would wait for it to go to stream on Netflix or whoever picks this up. And it sucks because they did have a pretty solid cast. Good actors and actresses that I know can do a great job. And I'm not saying that they ruined the movie. They just didn't have anything to work with. And this was 2024's version of the Peter Pan movie that was absolute garbage with Hugh Jackman.
That's pretty bad. This was terrible. Here's the thing, though. It could have been Now, again, not comparing it to the video games because I don't watch or listen. I haven't watched or played the video games, but it could have been interesting for someone like me who doesn't know that if you had given times and actually fleshed out your characters. You fleshed out none of your characters, and by the time I start caring about one, you are already on to the next one, doing something completely different. It moves too fast at times. Like there were times, at least in Guardians of the Galaxy, this is a blatant ripoff, so I'm just going to use that as the example. There were times in Guardians of the Galaxy where we got to see him bond real quick, like those little moments that are just really well done. That type of writing, when you watch a movie like this and you watch a movie like Guardians of the Galaxy, it gives me faith in what's going to happen with DC going forward, because I know James Gunn thinks about those little things. He's trying to connect everything. He's trying to make sure there's humanity in certain roles, stuff like that. God damn it, he made more humanity out of a tree and a raccoon than anything else in the MCU. Like Jesus. So you see those things, like that's really well done and taken care of. This didn't seem like the characters were really cared about. It was thrown together, and this was one that was made that was almost like the audience is stupid. They're not going to understand like why it's bad. They're just going to look at the pretty lights and go for it. And it's like, nah, nobody's like that anymore. Like we got a lot of good now, and like any filmmaker who ever would say that, I'm not saying they would. Any filmmaker that would ever broach that sort of thinking, knowing how TV is today and how amazing you can do on television, is kidding themselves way too much. But let's give our ratings for this one. Both half point, half star, half mic on it. Out of 5, yeah, both. Like it just was terrible. Yeah, I'm with Paul. I did not give it a 0 because I did not want to give another 0. That's all. That's where we're at with it. Like. Did not care about any of it, even the glowy wings. So with that,
they got a half star for me just because of behind the scenes guys. You know what I mean? I get there were operators involved, there were people holding boom, special effects guys, all that. So I'll always give at least half a point because they deserve their credit. I'm not saying they didn't technically do their jobs, and
they did. No, they did. Hey, they did their jobs. I agree with you 100%, and I'm not trying to be callous, but that's why I bought the ticket.
Right. That's it.
That's
the only reason why.
So they were not Eli Roth, not the studio. So like they were, because they'll get more jobs. They'll do, so like. But I agree with you, like, and they put the work in and stuff like that. But this was a failure of execution on higher up level, not the people working on it. So all right, let's get to mixed movie pick, and then we're getting out of here. Of course, it's from 1979. Mixed movie pick this year, because I was just watching it. Kramer versus Kramer. Go check it out. I made a classic film review. It's going to be up probably tomorrow, and then either tomorrow or Thursday, so you can check it up on the channel. We got lots of fun stuff going on, so guys, make sure you're checking it out. Make sure you are a member of. Oh, well, Kramer. Just let me give a quick rundown if you haven't seen it. It is a very dramatic movie. It's about a family, a mother, father, and a son, and the mother decides to leave the family, leaving the father in like a frenzy. He was a workaholic. He was really a dad, outside of like, hey son, good night son, sort of thing. And now he's thrust into the main parent role, and you see over the course of that him adopt that and take it and go from completely stressed out about it to making it work for him, making life work for him. He's really enjoying it, being a divorced man, having his son. And then she comes back into the picture, and it becomes a courtroom drama. And it can be a gut-wrenching one sometimes, so there's trigger warning. But but it's a wonderful story, amazingly acted. It got so many awards, but I'm gonna let you watch the classic film review. We talk about all that stuff and more about it, so you go check that out on the channel. But guys, if you want to stay in the know, the only way to stay in the know is join Patreon. That's what you gotta do. Bye.